Good evening, everybody. This is the lovely work by Harper Henry. She is in the gallery today. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome. We have Harper Henry in the building. Hey, Harper.
Hi.
And Joseph Maruska. Hey, Joseph.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Alrighty, so we have a few questions for Harper. Harper, if you, yeah, most definitely. So, what do we have here? What are we working on?
Yeah, this is a piece that is in process. It's Bighorn 2. I did another Bighorn last week. This one has a little bit different colors. I am about halfway done with this one. Just wanted to bring it into the gallery and let people kind of see the process.
It's beautiful. What percentage would you say that you are?
Yeah, I think about halfway.
Nice.
Probably. The horn is going to take a little bit of work.
Very nice. A lot of character in the eyes. Beautiful stuff. Alrighty, so let's jump into it. Harper, how would you describe your process?
I like to think of my work as abstract realism.
Nice.
So I traditionally, from art college, was trained in realism,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of went down that road for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then sort of got bored with this realism. I love realism, but I wanted more action and movement. So I found that experimenting with abstraction in combination with the realism gave me that unexpected movement and just sort of excitement that I was looking for. So I've been having fun on that journey, kind of exploring. My work kind of goes, sometimes it'll be more realistic and sometimes it'll be more abstract. This one is falling a little more on the abstract side.
Lovely. How does your personal background inform your work?
Well, I was an art director and graphic designer for 30 years, so behind a computer, and you wouldn't think that would help me, but it actually has. Because in that time, I learned a lot about design. I learned about conceptual thinking and color theory, and just having that graphic background has actually really, I'm surprised even. Sometimes when I'm working, I'm like, wow, I really am using what I did in my other life. So
Nice.
That's been interesting for me.
And I'm noticing the interest in working with animals. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, well, it started with the horses. I just love horses, so I've been kind of focusing on horses like for the last year. But then I started kind of branching out to other animals, and I'm just really having a lot of fun. Like until last week, I had not painted a bighorn.
Oh, okay.
And they are just.
You were like, I'm up for the challenge.
I'm up for the challenge, and they're so beautiful.
They are, yeah.
And then I did this pronghorn. Was that last week? I don't even know.
Was that last week?
Last week, week before, I guess.
It's beautiful.
But now that animal I had never painted before. I am just fascinated by the beauty of these creatures.
I love your signature, by the way.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Does creating artwork help in other areas of your life?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, aside from helping me make a living.
Right.
As Joseph said, I'm a creative person through and through. I always have been ever since I was a child. So I really don't know what I'd do if I wasn't an artist. So it really is in my being. So everything I do, even if I'm, I don't know, cleaning or arranging something in my house, I mean, I'm always thinking art-wise. Even when I'm watching a movie, I get a lot of inspiration just from watching movies and things. And I don't know, strange things inspire me. So
Nice.
Yeah, I have that mindset of just being in a creative mode all the time.
Lovely. If you didn't work in this medium, what medium do you think that you might work in? Or is there another medium that you would like to learn?
So I do like acrylic. I mean, I do my underpaintings in acrylic.
Oh, okay.
So I'm familiar. I mean, I don't do a whole painting in acrylic. I have done that, but mainly I really love oil. But I really could get into acrylic more.
Nice.
There was a time when I did a little watercolor. I would like to maybe get back to that. And
Nice, yeah.
experiment with that. possibly, but I do love oil so much I dabble over switch.
Well, it shows. What do you want the viewer to keep in mind as they view your work?
I like to surprise my viewers. I want them to be able to look at it from a distance and say, wow, that's really realistic. But then as you come closer, it falls apart and it breaks into shapes, and maybe you start to see rocks and mountains, or you see a tree somewhere that's really not there. But I love that aspect of it looks one way from a distance and different up close. And then also, I just like the idea that maybe it keeps them guessing. So every time they look at the painting, say in their home or something, the light changes. It's just going to look different to them every time they look at it because of the abstraction going on. They're like, oh, I never saw that before. So I kind of like that, you know?
Nice. Okay, random question. What is your favorite color to work with?
My favorite color to work with? Well, I like the warm palette.
Okay.
And the cool palette. So I would have to say the reds, the oranges, you know, the siennas.
Nice.
I'm an earth girl, so
Yeah,
I'm a Taurus,
love
so
that.
I love earth tones. So if I can get into some earth tones, that's me.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much for your time. Beautiful work. Alrighty, let's move on to Joseph Maruska. Here we have Joseph's incredible work. It's abstract work. Tell us about it, Joseph. What are we looking at here?
Hi guys, welcome. Well, we're looking at oil paints. It's a combination of image underneath the painting. Best way I can describe it. Reason being is that when I was in college in painting class, we used to do these wonderful drawings before we would paint an image, and you would paint over the drawing, and it was a beautiful drawing, and you would lose it. So the way for me to bring it out would be to raise the drawing so that you would see it over the painting. So you have two images. If you look really close at the texture, texture has nothing to do with the paint. It's more about the image that's underneath the paint. Once that image gets laid down, then my job is to stain and to fill in those areas.
I'm noticing a lot of different textures. How do you achieve these?
Well, I've got a special process. I don't know if I should give it up, but it's a special
okay, nice,
tool. It's a special tool that I've created, and I lay down what's called modeling paste, which is white. I sprinkle a little bit of graphite powder so that we can see, the different undulations. But everything, all these little pieces, I know how to get those effects. So, and with this tool that I created, it's possible.
Okay, very nice. Awesome. Alrighty, let's jump into these questions.
Yeah, sure.
How would you describe your process? Where do you like to start?
Well, I paint like a watercolorist, basically.
Okay.
I don't paint with brushes. I paint with torn T-shirts, if you can believe that.
Nice.
And they're just layers and layers. I can only paint one color a day.
Very nice.
So as you can imagine, this takes quite a bit of days to get this done. But it's something that was not taught to me. I had to figure this out myself through trial and error, but I finally did. And so it's
Very nice. How does your personal background inform your work?
Well, my father was a aerospace engineer.
Okay.
And so he taught me at a young age how to build things, and I was all about structure. So basically the early days of my artwork were a technical illustrator. So it was really hard for me to go to abstraction because I had to kind of loosen up those areas in my life where I was a little bit more constructive, but I still approach my work as I am actually constructing something rather than painting something.
Nice.
So everything is about placement.
Does creating artwork help in other areas of your life?
It takes me away from the stresses of life.
Right?
Trust
Yeah.
me, when you get to my age,
Yeah.
family members, everything is going awry. So it's nice to get into the studio and to just disappear.
And just disappear,
Just
yeah.
disappear.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How does the medium relate to the work that you make? So, like painting, like how would you say that it relates to abstract?
What I like about the process that I created is that this texture that I lay down first is very porous. So when I start to lay down the washes of oil, all the pigment stays into those little crusts, and a lot of I get the waxes and fillers that they add into paint, I get to remove. So you're getting a lot of true pigment here, and I think that's what really gives it, this vibrance.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
If you didn't work in this medium, what medium do you think that you might work in? Or is there a medium that you would like to maybe learn or try?
So,
Joseph on the wheel.
So the way I transitioned to this was that in my early years, I was a photographer as well.
Oh, okay.
And I did a lot of macro photography.
Ah, nice.
And I really did a lot of marine macro photography. So that's where these
Interesting.
That's where these images kind of
Okay.
second stage of it. So, but back in the '80s, I was very much a film guy, not so digital. So I'd like to revisit that. I'd like to, go back into photography.
Interesting.
And
Film.
see where it takes me. Yeah.
What do you want the viewer to keep in mind as they view your work?
It's very subjective. You want to see a little bit of yourself. My work isn't for everybody, but it's you. Whoever sees it needs to see a little bit of themselves. A little bit of their
Interesting.
life.
I like that.
So, for me, once the painting leaves me, it acts like a mirror to somebody's soul, and if they can see a little bit of themselves, then it's made a connection.
Love that. Yeah, I walk past these and I see different things each time.
Yeah.
I see landscapes, I see portraits.
Well, I want the viewer to use their eyes as a sense. I don't want you to describe something you think you see.
Interesting.
I want you to see it the way you listen to music, because music is, if you look at it on paper, it's a construction.
Right.
But when you listen to it, it disappears. So I want you to see the work the same way you would,
Very interesting. Well, all right. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Joseph.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Joseph's beautiful work is on display at the Marshall Gallery, 7106 East Main Street, Scottsdale. This newer piece he actually just dropped in today. Harper Henry's work is now on view at the Marshall Gallery. Come by and see us. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening.